Welcome to the Business of Style podcast with me, your host, Louisa Gabriel. I'm a personal stylist and image strategist who grew a successful six-figure business, and now I'm educating and empowering other personal stylists and image professionals just like you to do the same. So please keep listening to hear the lessons I've learned and the strategies I've used along the way that are guaranteed to take your personal styling career from side hustle to six figures too. Welcome back to the Business of Style, the podcast for personal stylists and image consultants who want to build a successful, sustainable, and scalable business in the world of style. Today's episode stems from several listener questions that I received, and it is a topic that so many stylists and image consultants struggle with, especially in the early stages of building their business. We're talking about niching, and more specifically, how focused is too focused. Because on the one hand, you're told by people like me to go and find your niche and really focus in. But on the other hand, you might be thinking, if I narrow things down too much, won't I lose potential clients? And that fear, it keeps a lot of stylists stuck. It keeps them stuck trying to appeal to everyone, saying yes to everything, and ultimately blending into the background noise. So, in this episode, we're going to unpack why the serve everyone or style everyone mindset is holding you back, the myth that you need a wide net to get clients, whether there is such a thing as too small a niche, and how to start defining your niche in a way that feels strategic but not restrictive. So let's dive into it and let's start at the real reason most stylists avoid niching down. It's not confusion, it is fear. The fear of missing out on opportunities, the fear of turning people away, the fear of not making enough money. There's this belief that if you specialize, you're somehow excluding people, right? And that feels risky, especially when you're trying to grow and make money. So instead, many stylists position themselves like this. I work with men and women of all ages, all body types, all styles for every occasion. I am the stylist for everything and everybody. Maybe that's how your business is right now. I think we probably all started at exactly that same point based on the same fear. And while it might feel safe, what it actually does is it makes your business harder to grow, because when your message is for everyone, it actually resonates with no one. And you've probably heard me say in previous episodes about niches that if you try to be the stylist for everyone, you end up being the stylist to no one. And we really, really don't want that. So let's address one of the biggest myths in the industry, which is you need to cast this wide net in order to get more clients. It does sound logical, but in the reality of the business world, it actually works the opposite way. When your branding and messaging are so broad, people don't immediately see themselves in what you offer. They don't connect when they can't see themselves in what you are offering. Your content just has this very generic feel about it. That doesn't help people connect to it. And you become harder to remember and recommend. But when you get specific, you become clear, you become recognizable, you become relevant. And that is what actually is going to attract clients. So think about it this way. If someone is looking for a stylist and they are a businesswoman, and they come across these two different messages: one stylist who helps everyone with their style, and another one who helps corporate women build a powerful, polished wardrobe for leadership roles. Who do you think feels like the obvious choice? It's the second one. It's clear. There is clarity in exactly what this person is going to help you achieve because they have it focused. It's a very clear message targeted specifically to you. Clarity creates confidence. It creates confidence for your clients, and it also creates it for you too. So, how focused is too focused? This is the question. Is there such a thing as being too niche? Well, the honest answer is sometimes, but not in the way you may think. It's not about the niche being too small. It's all about whether it's actually viable. So, a strong niche sits at the intersection of a clear audience, a specific problem or desire, and enough demand to sustain your business. These are the three key factors. In order to create an effective niche that isn't too narrow, it needs to connect to all these things. For example, you could have women over 40 rebuilding their style after a life transition. That's such a strong niche. It's focused, but it is such a strong niche that you're going to really be able to target and connect with people who want your services. But if you were to do, say, petite female lawyers who only want weekend outfits, well, this is possibly going to be too narrow, right? So the real question isn't, is my niche too small? It's, are there enough people in this niche? Can I reach them, whether it be locally or virtually? And do they value what I offer? Because thanks to the online business models, your niche doesn't have to be geographically limited anymore. So it does open up a bigger pool, even when you are focusing and making your niche more narrow. So here's something that will take the pressure off. You don't have to have the perfect niche figured out right away. If you're worried about that, if you're stressing about that because you're already starting building your business and you haven't figured it out, I don't want you to worry, okay? The fact is that if you try and get it perfect right from day one, it actually can keep you stuck. So it can have the opposite effect. Niching is not this one time decision. It really is an evolving process. And as your business grows and develops, that's when you start figuring out really where your specialty and your expertise lies and really gives you a clearer focus. So most successful stylists, they really refine their niche over time. And it's based on these three things: the clients that they enjoy working with, the results that they are best at delivering, and the demand that they are seeing in the market. So instead of waiting for everything to feel crystal clear when it comes to a niche, start where you are, get started, and let's start the evolving process of figuring out what your niche should be. So let's make this practical, shall we? So, if you're currently feeling unsure about your niche, here's how you can begin the process. First thing is, identify who you don't want to work with. Maybe you know that already. I think most of us do, right? We probably know more about what we don't want to be doing than what we actually think we do want to be doing. So, think about who you can eliminate. What are the types of people? What are the demographics that you really don't want to work with? It could be based on preference. It can be based on your experience as a stylist. It can be based on your skills. It can be based on the training that you've had. Maybe you don't have training in styling men. So that takes men out of the equation for you. And you've already started to narrow things down and focus in on a niche. Even if you're just narrowing it down to a specific gender, it starts creating that clarity within your business. The next thing is to look at who you naturally attract. Now, if you haven't worked with paying clients yet, I want you to think about your content that maybe you're already sharing online. Who is being attracted to your social media content? Is there a specific demographic, a specific type of person that's really connecting in and leaving those comments and liking all those posts that gives you an indication of who is attracted to what you have to offer? Or even think about the people in other areas of your life who are drawn to you. Are there specific people who are always commenting on your style and your outfits? These could actually be your target demographic. Now, if you have worked with a few clients already, you might be seeing patterns that are starting to emerge. Or if you haven't seen them, it's maybe because you haven't been looking yet. So start asking yourself, who do I enjoy working with the most? What gets the best results? Who would I love to work with more? These are very important things. So, your niche often starts by simply noticing what is already happening in your business, in the content that you're creating, sometimes even in your life. The next thing is to identify the problem that you solve the best. Styling isn't just about clothes. It is about transformation. It's about having a positive impact in many areas of life other than just making somebody look good. So start thinking about what transformations you are best at delivering. Is it confidence? Is it creating professional images? Is it helping with post weight loss style? Is it personal brand alignment? Your niche becomes stronger when it's tied to a very clear outcome. So start thinking about those transformations that you are making and that you really are phenomenal at delivering. And then start with a focused direction, not a final answer. So instead of trying to lock in a niche forever, just choose a direction, right? So, for example, I'm focusing on busy professional women, or I'm focusing on new mums, rebuilding their style. This gives your business clarity right now and helps guide your business while still allowing you the room you need to evolve. Then test and refine through your content and clients. Your niche isn't built in isolation. It's shaped through the actions that you take in your business. So create content for your chosen audience. Speak directly to them. Work with them. Then pay attention to what resonates, what converts, and what feels aligned. Refinement comes from the doing, not just the thinking. So, what impacts how narrow your niche should be? Well, there are a few key factors that are going to influence it. The first thing is your business model. If you're working locally and in person, your niche might need to be slightly broader. Whereas if you're online, you can go much more specific because you have the opportunity to reach people within a very defined niche. That might not be in your geographical area. So, this is something that we do want to consider when we are focusing our business. The next thing is your pricing. Higher end services often benefit from a more defined niche. Why? Because specificity builds perceived expertise. And that's something very important to remember when you are creating your pricing too. Okay. The next thing is your marketing strategy. If you're creating content, running ads, you're building a personal brand, a clear niche will make everything more effective. So pay attention, track it. And I think I just did an episode on the things that you need to pay attention to, the metrics that are important. Okay. This can all help you define your niche. And then your goals. Do you want to be known for something specific? Is there a specific area in styling that is really what you connect to and where you want to leave your mark? Or do you want flexibility and variety? There's no one size fits all, and your niche should support the business that you actually want to build. So, if you take one thing from this episode, let it be this: you don't grow your business by trying to appeal to everyone. You grow it by becoming the right choice for someone specific. And that doesn't mean locking yourself into this tiny little box forever, this tiny little niche. It means choosing a clear direction, taking action, and allowing your niche to evolve as your business grows. Because you know what? Clarity isn't restrictive, it's actually powerful. So, I'm going to leave you with homework to do, as I have on the last episodes. This is a quick one. This is an easy one. The only thing I want you to do after you've listened to this episode is I want you to write down who you don't actually want to work with. Who are the people? Who are the demographics? Do you not want to work with Gen Z? Do you not want to work with men? Just simply write it down. Even if it's just one demographic that you have identified, you are closer to figuring out what your niche is going to be. So that's the simple homework exercise for you to do this week. And that's today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in once again, and I will catch you next time. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Business of Style podcast, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll be notified when a new episode is available. And of course, if you're looking for additional training and resources to help you in your career as a personal stylist, then be sure to visit my website, styleacademyintl.com.